Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Russians conducted another, I would say, massive drone attack on Ukraine with 35 drones. So let's see where these drones were launched from and where they landed and how many the Ukrainians claim they were able to destroy their air defenses. So I have two articles and a map. Let's start with one of the articles coming from Ukrainska Pravda, today, January the 30th, 2024. Russia attacks Ukraine with 35 Shahed drones. Air defense downs 15 of them. The Russians launched 35 over Ukraine on the night of 29 to 30 of January, with 15 Russian drones being destroyed. And I'm quoting the military assets and personnel of the Air Force acting jointly with the air defense of the Ukraine Defense Forces have destroyed 15 enemy UAVs within Mykolaiv, Sumy, Cherkasy, Kirovohrad, Dnipropetrovsk, Kharkiv, Kherson, and Kiev Oblast. So we don't have, so everything is below. We don't have here Luhansk, we don't have Donetsk, we don't have Zaporozhye, we don't have Kherson, right? But we have Kherson. We don't have Mykolaiv. Do we have Mykolaiv? We don't have Mykolaiv, and we don't have Odessa. So everything we got is in this area. Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, I don't think it was Dnipropetrovsk, and is this area here, no further than this. So this is the area they attacked. This is not in the lower part where you would expect if you want to cause some damage for any offensive or anything like that. So they don't need it, I guess. Here in Kherson, no Zaporozhye, no Donetsk, and then no Luhansk over here. So it was just Kharkiv. Was it Kharkiv? Kharkiv was, and Kherson. So they did in Kherson, actually. That's in the bottom. So they did in Kherson here. So they missed Zaporozhye, and then they missed Donetsk and Luhansk, all these three. The rest, they did it up to Kiev. So including here, down here in the south, and excluding in the center here. And let's see where they launched them from. The Russians launched attack drones from 3 areas, the same ones, let's see, including Primorsko-Akhtarsk in Russia, Kursk, Russia, and Cape Shauda. This is in Crimea. So let's go and see where they are located. So Kursk is clear right here. And then you go down south towards the Crimean Peninsula and across from the Sea of Azov. So here is Cape Shauda in this little cove, I think you would call it, bay. Here in this area, this is Cape Shauda. And then you have Akhtarsk, whatever that was, Primorsk-Akhtarsk, which is right here, which is across from the Sea of Azov. Here is right here. There's one point, the other one is here, and the third one, as I indicated, it is in the north, is Kursk region. So let's go back to see what else these guys have to say. So some of the Shahed drones were deployed towards the frontline territories, like what? Kherson and what was the other one? Kherson and the north here, Kharkiv and Kherson. These are, the other ones are just, yeah, they are, but not where the contact line is. So drones were deployed towards the frontline territories, attempting to target infrastructure in the fuel and energy sector and civilian and military facilities near the front line and the state border with Russia. Well, if they talk about this, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, but they missed this, as I said. Fighter aircraft, anti-aircraft missile units, and mobile fire groups from Ukraine's defense forces were engaged to repel the air attack. Russian forces also fired 2 S-300 air defense missiles on the Ukrainian government-controlled part of Donetsk. Oh, here you have Donetsk. So they attacked with S-300s two of them in Donetsk. Donetsk is this area here. This is Donetsk. Now 2 missiles on all this territory. Let's fix nothing. Background: earlier, the Russians bombarded the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Ukrainian defense managed to shut down one Russian Shahed attack drone, but another hit civilian infrastructure. So they also attack now Dnipropetrovsk, right in here, on top of Zaporozhye Oblast. Let's go to the next article coming from Ukrinform. I expect them to say the same thing. Ukrinform is from the 30th of January. Ukrainian air defenses intercept 15 out of 35 kamikaze. Let's see. At night, pop up the same statement and the same thing here. Attack with 35 from Primorsko-Akhtarsk, Kursk, and Shauda, and 2 S-300 launched from occupied Donetsk. The targets were destroyed in the... What the hell? Now this is extra. The targets were destroyed in Mykolaiv, Sumy, Cherkasy, Kirovohrad. What is Mykolaiv in the other one too? I missed that. Yeah, I missed that right here. My mistake. So they did here too as well, on top of Kherson. So not no Odessa, but here. Okay, well. And everything else here, the same as on the other one. Now, excuse my, or pardon my, how should I put it, my bitching around or bitching about. I remember when the Allies, the so-called Allies, the Americans and the British were conducting bombardments over the German cities in the Second World War. And there were hundreds of bombardiers dropping thousands of bombs at once. They launched 2 missiles. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen maybe you've seen the damage of one missile. The ones that they send, the S-300. Let's say if it hits a target, let's say an apartment building, it makes let's say 20, at most, let's say 15-meter diameter destruction, and that's one missile. These guys were dropping bombs in the Second World War, as I said, thousands in one bombardment. That's why when these guys are telling me, I'm not trying to minimize what's going on over there, but 35 drones and 2 missiles in one night, and they consider it a massive attack. No, I mean, you want to take the Americans with their napalms? They dropped more napalm bombs in the Vietnam in one bombardment than these guys did in 30 Shahed drones. Have you seen how big is a Shahed drone? It's like what, a span of 3 meters or something, and it has a load of up to 50 kilograms maybe, or something like that, if I remember correctly. 50 kilograms is, well, let's say half of a human being. I mean, that's the same. The explosion is maybe one bomb from the Second World War, maybe let's say 3 bombs, 2 bombs. That tells me that, well, you can't go right now and bombard the same way. I don't know, it's just, when they say, well, it's all war, I have things to compare. And I think this, and I'm not trying to minimize it, I'm just comparing it. Compare with the Second World War and one aerial bombardment, let's say Hamburg, or I don't know, let's go to Dresden. You can't compare this. This is shit, what's going on here, compared with what those guys were doing then. As I said, I'm not pushing for that, I'm comparing it. And I'm supposed to say, oh, that's massive. Why am I supposed to say it? Because they say it. Major, massive, 35 drones, get out of here. It's like one bomber in the Second World War. That's the damage. You send one bomber across the English Channel, let's say 2, and drop your load, and that's it, come back home. So I don't buy it. It's, anyway. Do they have the capability? They should. I don't think the guys were producing then more than they can produce now. Can they? Yeah, they were. It was they switched to a war economy. Still, remember those factories then and the factories now, the production. Now the capabilities, the technology, right? You should be faster, and I don't think the resources is the problem. So, just a thought. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.